Yeah. Hello, these are your BFM morning headlines for Tuesday, 2nd September 2014. It was a public holiday yesterday. Hope you guys had an awesome long weekend and didn't miss Sharat too much. So we are moving on from Selangor being in the news to Penang because, of course, volunteering can be a very dangerous thing when you get the Home Minister and our IGP involved. Volunteers with police records. Now, 156 members of the Penang Voluntary Patrol unit were arrested yesterday. Of these 156, one of the bits of news today is that 11 of them have criminal records. Now, everyone's going on and on about how it's a 10,000 strong man organization. Let me ask you this. Out of 10,000 people, how likely is it that 11 people have criminal records? Go to any big organization at all, and I think you will find that the numbers may rise. PPS Shakedown on The Sun. Yeah, just a list of some notable people who are arrested. Sri Delima Rep, Penang Exco member, and photos of people looking defiant. Sina Harian, meanwhile, have gone with a mention that other papers have also said of 9 bodies arriving back from MH17 today. It's nice to see that we haven't completely forgotten them, even though it's impossible for the fanfare to be as insane as it was that first time round. Still, we're noting it. Back to main news though. We have Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi going, saying that, you know what, any society that isn't listed under the Register of Societies that's considered illegal, we are coming after you, and that includes Unit Amal PAS, maybe. So nobody's safe, except possibly, it seems, people who don't belong to the opposition. The New Strait Times have gone with actually a really great succinct page summing up everything that's going on. Crackdown, yes. Wonderful photo of our IGP, such a photogenic man, and a little bit of detail about the conflict between our IGP and Penang Chief Minister Lim Guan Eng. Lim Guan Eng, of course, said, if he thinks he's right in arresting them, then you know what, debate me on the legality of it, because I don't see how it's illegal. IGP saying, I am not a politician. I don't need to engage in a debate. I think our IGP has also mistaken parliamentary debate for presidential debate, because he seems to think that it's a sort of one-on-one thing. Not really sure what's happening, which I think sums everybody up, because the news, as always, is deeply, deeply confused. And we have former Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir saying, good call. We have Khairi saying PPS is dangerous. And now this is the problem. He questions why the Penang government needs to form its own army. And it's language like this which frightens everybody into submission, which I think is completely unnecessary. If, as they say, they're just volunteering their services and helping with the community, why is there a need to call them an army? Continuing coverage from Berita Harian, again, nothing new, criminals in the PPS. And there is also a little mention up here about e-cigarettes. Bit of a shout out to last week's 89.9 seconds. Check it out if you haven't. This is interesting. Dewan Muslimat PAS have made a surprising show of support for Wan Aziza. Now, I want to come back to this a little later, just remember it. In Utusan Malaysia, again, nothing new. Calls for the PPS to be disbanded, which have apparently been going on since 2011. And over here, a little box of, I guess, news about women by women. The former women's leader of PKR, Felicia Ling, she said a number of things really worth examining. She quite controversially said, look, if you're questioning the Sultan, then I would question the special rights that you have as a Malay because you don't seem to follow your own adat istiadat. So that's quite interesting. And she also said that she would question anybody being placed as a political puppet in the Selangor Chief Minister situation, saying it doesn't matter that it's a woman. I still have the right to question it. Also, over 100 celebrities fell victim to a hacking scandal, amongst them Jennifer Lawrence. You might already have seen it if you're an internet denizen. And I mention it only because, don't click, you guys. I know it's tempting. I know she's very hot. It doesn't change the fact that you're rewarding people for basically violating other people's privacy, and which is why the next paper I'm going to talk about is a tabloid, Harian Metro. Who runs the world? Girls, apparently. New news, Wanita Kuasai University. Girls outnumber boys in our university programs by like 70%. We're gonna make it. That's the good news. I love covering good news in Harian Metro because it's so rare. And of course, over here, we've got a 14-year-old sleeping with a 71-year-old. Front page, larger picture, because obviously, better story about a girl, more positive and more empowering than this. Why? Finally, the Malay Mail, a bit of an outlier. Stadiums should be for fans, not gladiators. This is, of course, after the riot in the State Stadium in Kuching. Also, want to call your attention to something up here. Dewan Muslimat PAS buat kejutan sokong Wan Aziza. In other words, the Dewan Muslimat of PAS has made a surprise support bid for Wan Aziza. And I want to kind of cycle back a little bit to the New Straits Times. PAS to submit third name to Selangor Palace. So there is a lot of confusion within parties at the moment. moment. I say at the moment, we all know that this has been going on for months now. But it's interesting to look at the conflict between the different factions of a single party. And that also relates to something on within the pages of the New Straits Times. Hadi Awang saying, we differ from PKR and DAP. In other words, don't mistake PAS for other members of its coalition. If you can't even agree about how to work out your own party, how are you going to agree on how to work within a coalition, for the love of God? Anyway, which leaves me to leave you with the word of the day, which was not actually in the papers, but it's one that I want to mention, and it's dragnet. That's a word that's been coming up a lot in relation to the sedition cases, with even academics getting caught up in the dragnet, and with the police saying that they are issuing a shakedown and they're going to continue to look through the details of the PPS and bring them in. I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen. Are you guys really ready to deal with 10,000 people strolling into your police stations? I hope you are, because that's what you're calling for. This has been your morning headlines, 2nd September 2014. I'm Chwi, Lynn, BFM 89.9.